Hello, BookTube. This is Aaron from Aaron Read a Book or Aaron Read a Book. I'm going to do a very quick video on 10 books that I've given 5 stars to that qualify as shorties for Shorty September. I've taken out all science fiction and fantasy because I was trying to compile the list and I was just getting too much science fiction and fantasy. So I'm going to do a separate list for them. But these are 10 of my favourite ever shorties, and I will explain why, a couple of reasons why I think you should read them as well. And I'm going to go in order of shortest to longest. So we'll start with Chess Story by Stefan Zweig, which I've definitely pronounced wrong, just so you know. Kindle edition of this is 62 pages, so you can read it easily in one sitting. This is a book based around a game of chess, which I believe to be the greatest game ever devised by humankind. But you also don't need to know anything or even like chess to like this story. The other reason I think you should read it is it's an amazing portrait of 2 characters, and it really dives into their backstory and their psychology and why they play this game the way they play it, and it does all of that in 62 pages. It's an amazingly quick and interesting book. So that's A Chess Story by Stefan Zweig. Also several different names for that one, so you might see it under a different chess related name. Book number 2 is Foster by Claire Keegan. This is only 89 pages in paperback, so again easily done in one sitting. 2 reasons you should read this one. One, it's a found family story, so if you like found family stories, you will enjoy this, and it will make you weep. In 89 pages it will make you weep. And the other reason is just to experience Claire Keegan's writing style, which she doesn't waste a single word. So she completely strips the story of any fluff at all. Everything is important, and it's just a wondrous thing to read one of her books. Number 3, this is The Little Prince by Anton de Saint-Exupéry. Again, pronunciation definitely wrong. This is 91 pages in paperback, but there's many editions of this book. 2 reasons to read this one. One, it is, according to Wikipedia, one of only 2 books to ever sell over 200 million copies. So it's definitely, it's hard to track these things, but it's definitely top 5 at least best-selling books of all time. It leaves any of the Harry Potter books in the dust. The other reason to read this is it's a beautiful little story about things that children know that adults have forgotten. It's just wonderfully done. Book number 4 is O Pioneers by Willa Cather. This comes in at 125 pages on Kindle. Again, similar to Claire Keegan in a way, beautifully written, very perfect prose that is pared down wonderfully. It's a story about immigration. It's about immigrants, the life of immigrants in early America, which I think is important. It's important to have empathy for immigrants in the world now that tells us to hate immigration. The other great reason to read it is it's got a strong female lead, which was unusual for a book from 1913. The main character is a woman who is a leader in her family, and you can then go on and read the rest of the trilogy, which includes My Antonia, which is even better. Book number 5, we're going with one of my childhood favourites, Boy by Roald Dahl. This is 160 pages, and it also has pictures, so that's one of the reasons to read it. It has lots of Quentin Blake illustrations, and I don't know if this is just an English thing, but Quentin Blake feels like a typical part of an English childhood. Obviously this is Quentin Blake as well, so that's number 1 reason. Wonderful illustrations. Number 2 reason to read this is it's an autobiography written for children, which I can't think of another person who's done that. It's aimed for children, but it is an autobiography. It's wonderfully done, and also there's a follow-up going solo, which is a bit more adult, where he joins the RAF. But great book, one of my childhood favourites. Book number 6, The Pursuit of Love by Nancy Mitford. This is 200 pages at paperback, so we're verging into the 200-page territory now. Number 1 reason to read this, it's Nancy Mitford's one of the few writers that makes me laugh out loud. She's laugh out loud funny, and that is a rare thing, I think, in books. And the second reason to read this is it's based on her real family. And if you've heard of the Mitfords, they're a very strange family, and they all, as adults, went different ways, but their childhood is even stranger than their adult life, and it's just a brilliant portrait of a family which we will say is full of charisma. Book number 7 is Now in November by Josephine Johnson. 208 pages, so it's getting a bit chunky now. 2 reasons to read this. Josephine Johnson won the Pulitzer Prize for fiction for this book at the age of 24, which is the youngest anyone's ever won the Pulitzer Prize for. I dread to think what I was doing when I was 24. I was definitely drunk, not writing books. Other reason to read this, it's a beautifully written book about the Great Depression, and it sort of describes the Great Depression in the same way as The Grapes of Wrath by John Steinbeck, but it does it in sort of 20% of the pages of The Grapes of Wrath. So this Shorty September, you can read this and skip The Grapes of Wrath, but do go read The Grapes of Wrath after. It's great. Book number 8 is True Grit by Charles Portis. Heather, the host of Shorty September, recently read this and gave it 5 stars as well, so that's a double recommendation. This is 228 pages in Kindle. Actually, my edition is 215. Probably shouldn't show the last page, but I don't think there's any spoilers on the last page. Reasons to read True Grit. It has some of the best dialogue in any book I've ever read. The dialogue is so witty and brilliant. This also has a great female lead character as well. And the second reason to read it is because of the dialogue. It has 2 fantastic film adaptations, including this one with Jeff Daniels and 14-year-old Haley Steinfeld, who was brilliant in this adaptation, and of course the John Wayne original adaptation. So it works perfectly for half and half shorts if you want to do that prompt, and then you can tick that one off and watch one or both of the movies. Book number 9, we're going with Jane and Prudence by Barbara Pym. This is coming in at 240 pages at paperback, so we're going towards now the end of Shorty September, where some people say 200, I say 250, so we're getting towards 250 now. But this is the joint longest book. 2 reasons to read Jane and Prudence by Barbara Pym. I believe Barbara Pym is the spiritual successor to Jane Austen. I think Trollope comes in between them both, and he is very Austen like elements too. But I think Barbara Pym is like the 1940s, 1950s Jane Austen, and instead of talking about high society, she talks about middle class society in England and the poorer side of middle class society as well. Normally women who live in villages, and they're social satires like Austen about class and religion and all that sort of thing. And her characters tend to be older women as well, which is interesting. The second reason to read Jane and Prudence is, although all Barbara Pym novels are quite similar in a way, and that's a good thing because they're like comfort reads, I think Jane is her best character, a brilliant character, so I always recommend Jane and Prudence as a good place to start with Barbara Pym. And finally, book number 10, which is also 240 pages, another funny book, The Inimitable Jeeves by P.G. Wodehouse. If you watched my channel for very long, I recommend this book a lot, but it's because I love P.G. Wodehouse, and I think this is the best place to start with Wodehouse because it's the second collection of Jeeves and Wooster stories, but I think he's in his full swing by this one. You don't really have to read Jeeves and Wooster in any order, but I think this is the best place to start because it's short stories, and it is one of the first ones he wrote, so it introduces you to a lot of the characters that come back later. Reason number 2 to read The Inimitable Jeeves. P.G. Wodehouse is the funniest author that England has ever produced, so that's a good reason. So there are 10 books with a couple of reasons for each one why I think you should read them for Shorty September. Let me know if you like any of these books down in the comments, or if you've got any other suggestions based on them. Have a good one, BookTube. Bye.